At Red Barn, our pet food ingredients work overtime. They aren't just there for show. Dandelion greens work to maintain a healthy digestive system. Salmon oil works to enhance the immune system. Green-lipped mussels work to support joint health. These hard-working ingredients support your dog's active, healthy life. Look at the label. We want you to. Red Barn Naturals Pet Food. Simply the best. Find it in your local pet specialty store. Visit redbarninc.com/coupon to save $1 off your first can.
Blog Talk Radio.
You know what time it is. Time to hang out with Mr. Coop. With Mr. Coop, with Mr. Coop, with Mr. Coop. Get the latest scoop from Mr. Coop, from Mr. Coop, from Mr. Coop. Hang with Mr. Coop, with Mr. Coop, with Mr. Coop, with Mr. Coop. Get the latest scoop from Mr. Coop, from Mr. Coop. Yeah.
Welcome to the Big Scoop with Coop. I'm your host, Coop. Season 3 still going strong, guys. Today I have a fantastic guest you're about to learn a lot from. She is very well known in the theatrical world. She has done big things. And when I say big things, I'm talking about on stage. She is amazing at what she does. But guys, right now, give you a second or two to make sure you go tell your family and your friends and your associates, even your haters, make sure they tune in to the Big Scoop with Coop right now. They can hear it live right now on Blog Talk Radio, blogtalkradio.com/The Big Scoop with Coop. You can actually find it on TuneIn Radio, Stitcher Radio, iTunes. We're live right now worldwide. But ladies and gentlemen, you know what? That's enough of me talking. It's time to bring on this guest right here that I've been waiting to have on my show, and she's finally here. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Miss Tanna Frederick. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be on the Big Scoop with Mr. Coop.
All right.
It's awesome. Thank you.
Yes. How's your day been going today?
Well, it just got better with that introduction.
Huh.
That was like the best introduction I think I've ever had.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. We're live right now worldwide. Everybody is listening. They're loving this right now. This is season 3. We will keep going with this thing. Now, Tanna, just to let you know on this show, we always speak about how you started in your career, your success, give advice how to get into your career, and much more. Now, Tanna, it's showtime. Let's go on and do this. We're going to start from the beginning.
Okay.
All right. When did you first realize that you wanted to become an actress?
It was, I think I was 9 years old, and I went to see the musical Oliver with my Girl Scout troop in Iowa. And I just remember sitting on the steps at the local children's theater, and we had some great, you can never judge where you're going to find amazing art is one thing that I've learned, because it comes in every state, every city. There's an immense amount of talent, and I think I came from like just a wealth of talent in northern Iowa. And they had great children's theater, which is great. And I remember as the lights went down and came up, and my best friend was playing Oliver Twist, and I just remember watching the show and just knowing right then at 9 years old, this is what I was destined to do for the rest of my life. And just knew, no turning back from that moment, that there was nothing else that I was going to do except pursue acting and pursue that as my craft.
Nice.
For better or worse, whatever it's gotten me. I don't know. I guess I was both blessed and I don't want to say cursed, but I mean, I guess I was lucky enough not to be one of those, people who has a meandering, what am I going to do? What was I meant to do? There's a lot of people out there who don't figure out what their passion is, and I was just lucky enough, or like I said, like cursed enough to know I don't have a choice. I'm an actress, and I'm going to wait tables or bust.
Nice.
So there was no option B. There was no safety net for me. So that's how I knew. And then I just got involved with the children's theater and started doing everything I possibly could. as a kid, and like 4 shows a year, and did everything, painted sets, did everything I possibly could, tech, sound. We weren't allowed to, we had to do every part of the theater experience, and treated like as kids, like adults. And that was really a cool lesson too, as a child, to be held responsible and accountable for at 10 years old for never chewing gum on stage, never writing in your script with a pen, never being late for rehearsals or you get reamed out. I mean, they really had strict rules and didn't. We were like professionals, even though we were paying the theater for lessons and stuff. So I was really thankful for that experience.
Nice. And you see, that's the thing. Whenever you start young and you actually get attracted to what you're doing at a young age, I really believe that it'll stick in your heart or your mind that you want to continue to do it. And you're living proof of that. Think about it. You started off seeing it with the Girl Scouts at 9, and look where you're at now. I mean, you've done big things, and you're still doing big things. And people that's listening worldwide, trust me, Miss Frederick's career is far from over. She's got big things coming up, and she got big things that she's doing right now. Make sure you check out her work, especially if you're in the California area. Yes. And
yes,
now,
and I agree with that. As a child, like it's just if you start young and you start doing it just for the love of doing it, and you're not used to being paid for it. I mean, we did it. We did everything that we did for free, and not only that, but a lot of our parents had to work a couple jobs to make sure that we could get into the children's theater, and we were just lucky to be in the theater. So by the time that I moved out to Los Angeles after college, and actually by the time I got the first paying gig, I mean, even when I got free, when I got free jobs, but I actually got a job as an actress, and it didn't pay, I was like, this is awesome, this is the coolest thing ever, I just got hired. How much are you making, honey? And my parents would ask me, and I'm like, I'm not making a thing, but I beat 200 actresses. Why are you even asking me that question?
Exactly. Hey, the joy pays off for itself. Exactly. Pay? Who needs to get paid? I'm going to be on camera finally. And that's how everybody should think. Seriously, started off, they should always think that way. That excitement would actually make your drive larger and larger. And then when you get a paycheck, you could be like, oh, I got paid. But guess who I was on stage with? You can't beat that.
Exactly.
You definitely can't.
No, you can't.
Oh, wow. Now, let's fast forward a little bit. We saw how you started at a young age, and you actually became a part of the Los Angeles theater community. How big of an honor was it for you?
It was actually really, really hard to get into, surprisingly. I was lucky enough to have worked with my friend Levy Lee Simon at the University of Iowa, because at the University of Iowa, where I graduated from, there were amazing playwrights and the Writers' Workshop, and just really, really great writers, playwrights there. And Levy Lee Simon, is a well-known playwright, does amazing work writing, and he was doing a play out here, Toussaint for the Love of Freedom, and I was able to just work my way in and called him back in Iowa and got a teeny tiny part in a huge, brilliant cast of like 50 people. But it was really hard. It was easier to get film work out here than theater work. So most of the work that I did was film work, and I ended up getting a job doing with Henry Jaglom, doing Hollywood Dreams was my first film with Henry, and then continued to do a lot of work with. He's a very gifted, and he's very what do I want to say? He's very independent. He's very independent and very stalwart, independent indie directors, and has worked with pretty much every actor. He's like Altman or Cassavetes, and so I did a lot of independent films and started out starring in them right off the bat with him. But I think it's because of my theater work that I was able to, do the work with all these actors. I mean, I was new out here. I was 24, and I was starting out of the gate with Justin Kirk from Weeds and Noah Wiley from ER and in Queen of the Lot and Judd Nelson from Breakfast Club and Karen Black and David Proval from The Sopranos. And all these amazing, amazing actors who all had an amazing stage background and were just kick-ass actors because they just had this solid theatrical background. But getting a job in theater and working my way into the theater community out here was not an easy thing because it's just not a theater town until you really pay your dues out here and get assimilated into the theater community. And then later on, now I have a following and I do consistent theater and film, and the two hopefully coincide with each other, and some of my plays get turned into films. The one that is coming out in theaters is called Ovation. It's actually it's actually opening at the Palm Beach Film Festival this week, and that I've co-starred in that with James Denton from he played the plumber in Desperate Housewives. Yep. Opposite Terry Hatcher. He was a great actor, again, a stage actor, really brilliant guy, and a whole cast from The Rainmaker. So what Henry did was we ran this show called it's Ed Richard Nash's The Rainmaker. We ran the show for a year, got standing ovations every single night. It was amazing, most incredible theater experience I've had because who would turn down having people stand up after every show? Definitely a tough show because it's just one of the classics and you can get criticized very easily for it. But Henry had this idea of, it's really it's very difficult, but we pulled it off. It was awesome. It was the best experience. And so Henry had this conceit of filming just the backstage where kind of if you're in theater, the real drama happens backstage. It doesn't. So, yes. It's it's always like who's having marriage problems and who's sleeping with who, and it's just like come on, you want to get the backstage gossip and who hates who right now and who's complaining about their space, and it's just always a matter of you go backstage in a show and you see like the real drama of like adults becoming children about their lives. It's just great. It's great, and you either love it or you have to love it because if you don't love it, you won't. You're in it for the rest of your life. You're in it to do theater at like 82. You don't give up on art. You just never retire. You either die or you. Seriously, you either die or you go on stage. But as the Barrymore family will tell you, you keep going and you don't stop because it's the art. You just don't retire. You're not a dentist. You're an artist. So we filmed this. We filmed all of this. So Henry wrote this film about Ovation, which is coming out. I think it's on the RainbowFilmCompany.com, and you can check it out. It's coming out in Lumley theaters and premiering here in theaters in the 29th of May, and it's all about backstage and what happens backstage of The Rainmaker. So we just basically took the entire cast and then added James Denton to it and filmed backstage what was going on, what Henry had written, and there's all these. It's just kind of it's just a fun kind of exciting thriller / comedy / love story about a play backstage. It's fictional, and it was a lot of fun to film. But that's where sometimes the real life of theater can carry into having turning something into film. And so I love this film. It's my favorite film that I've done so far. So that's coming out in the theaters this next month.
Man, everybody that's listening worldwide right now, make sure you go check it all out. Make sure you check out Ovation. This is going to be something that's going to knock your boots off. If you're not wearing boots, it's going to knock your shoes off. If you're not wearing shoes, it's going to knock your flip-flops off. Whatever you're wearing, it's going to knock it off. I guarantee that. It's going to be an awesome, awesome, awesome thing to watch. Now, Tanna, here's a personal question I want to know myself. How do you personally prepare yourself to step on stage or to get in front of the camera for film? What do you actually do? Because, like you said, backstage at a play, that is a big battle royal back there. I've been behind the scenes on a lot of those, and if you say the wrong thing, it's going to be a big old girl and boy fight back there. But it's all drama related when you got the right people there, and it's very interesting. But what do you do to get yourself prepared?
Oh, man. That's a good question. It depends, honestly, on the show. Last year I played an anti-Semite. It was a true story. Again, it was a play by Henry Jaglom called Trained to Zakopane, and it was a true story about his father. It was about anti-Semitism, and I played a Polish nurse who just went on stage every night and had to say these very slanderous things about being able to smell a Jew from a kilometer away on a train. And then I ended up, and because it was a true story, I wanted to make, there's a lot of anti-Semitism that exists now. And this story took place in 1928 Poland. And Henry's father was a Jew, and he fell in love with this young nurse in 1928 and had an affair with her, and his whole plan was to, quote-unquote, kiss the girl and then tell her that he was Jewish and then run off. Unfortunately, they got off in Zakopane, Poland, and at this beautiful resort in 1928, had this affair, and then the father ended up falling in love with her. And so you see these two characters and why she, has this aversion to Jewish people, and how her father was kind of was taken advantage of by a Jewish man. And you just see she has her kind of defensive speeches, and but it was a very difficult character to play because this whole town is pretty much run by very successful Jewish people. I was like, okay, great. I'm never going to work again. Awesome, Henry. Thank you so much. But it was extremely successful and ran for a year. It was just a very painful part to play because it was kind of this unwritten character that had no future for herself, and I really tried to create empathy with my character as much as possible. The audience can actually climb to the skin of the character, and I had people coming up afterwards and saying, so are you actually anti-Semitic? And I was like, no, but that's the biggest acting compliment you could probably give me, so thank you. Right. And then at the same time, I was doing, I got cast in a show with Levy Lee Simon directing called The Dutchman, and where I play a racist woman on a train, another train on a subway in 1962 that stabs a black man. So I had these two very, very complicated characters that I had been looking and was doing them back to back. So what I did at the time, I don't think I'll ever do again, but I basically, the only way I could play these two characters and really just not think about criticizing them or getting into, judging them or being freaked out. I mean, because we were so critically acclaimed with the Dutchman, we actually got into the national the National Black Theater Festival in which was the most amazing experience of my life, and that was in North Carolina, and so I actually experienced that last year, and it was like the most powerful environment I've ever been in. It was just everybody in like purple and just the most powerful black actors. The first man who played Phantom of the Opera, African American man. All these, just everybody just claiming like their power as an artist, and I mean, it was amazing. But again, very difficult to play two racist and an anti-Semite at the same time. So in order just not to judge myself, I just started running marathons. And so back to back before I was doing these shows, because I was literally doing these shows, I would do the Dutchman during the day and play the anti-Semite at night and train to Zakapane. And so I would get up at 3 o'clock, run a 26.2 marathon under 4 hours because I was so stressed out, and then go on stage without taking, a nap or anything. I fell off stage once. I couldn't cope with the characters. But I didn't know how else to do it in a healthy way, so I just kind of overcompensated with running. And so then I ran another 26.2 marathon again in the morning, went on stage, and then did 2 shows. And then I ran like a couple of half marathons. But just by staying physically fit, that was the only thing that I could figure out to do to stay afloat with those characters. I didn't want to drink. I didn't want to it's so easy as an artist when you're just putting yourself out there and people are like booing your character on stage. I mean, nobody liked either of those characters, and that there is a good reason for that, because they're meant to represent a very unlikable part of and disgusting part of the population, and an ugly part of the population, and very ugly events in mankind. So I was representing both of those, and a lot of those events, and people did not like me. We had Q&As, and so what are you going to do? I just ran. I was like Forrest Gump. I was like, I'm just going running.
So you just took my line. I'm about to say you Forrest Gump your way through this thing. That's what I was about to tell you.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just going to keep running. And then I'll do the shows at night. And then I'm just going to keep doing the best I can and trying to give, these playwrights a voice, and do these characters as best I can and make the audience hate me as much as possible and not take it personally. And yeah, so everything is pretty much countered by, with me, a physical emphasis,
Right. And Tanna, at the same time, I believe a reaction is better than no reaction at all, especially when you're on stage.
Completely.
So
completely. Why else do it? Yeah.
Right. Because when you're on stage, if you're getting booed, that means you're getting these people attention. So you're doing what you're supposed to do. But if you went up there and you start hearing the crickets chirp, you probably want to look around to see if the light's still on, or is anybody else still in the building. So, that makes sense. And you played those 2 roles, and you did such a good job of it that you had people booing you. I mean, I clap, and I give you a standing ovation right now for pulling that off, and you still have sanity inside of your head. So I pulled it off. And also, Tanna, next time you're in North Carolina, and next time you're in North Carolina, make sure you look me up, because I'm in North Carolina also. So let me know.
Oh my God!
Yep.
Oh my God, that's so. Did you know that the National Black Theater Festival was there?
Yes.
It's every other year. It's the most amazing experience I've ever had in my life. Like, just incredible. Yeah. So wow, what a great state. It was my first time there, and I couldn't believe how amazing the state was, and had such a beautiful time. And it was in the summer. It was in August, so all Perfect of the cicadas hanging down, and the thick heat, and it was gorgeous.
Yeah.
But
so
thank
next
you.
time,
Yes, I do. I'm gonna look you up.
Cool.
I didn't know that's where your show is from. That's awesome. What a great state. What a lucky man you are.
Thank you. Thank
you
very much.
And the state's lucky to have the scoop there. So, but I agree with you. Like most of the art that I do and that I choose, and as I get older, I think that there's as an artist, for me, that I have a responsibility to, definitely making people leave scratching their heads and talking about stuff and either worked up in some way, questioning their lives and how they've chosen to live their lives, or, if you don't create something that makes people question or feel or react in some way, even if it's with ire or anger or angst, if you don't get a theater worked up and getting into like a hot conversation afterwards, and I don't need to be liked. I don't need to be liked. I just want to create change and create discussion and just put stuff out on the table that is not being discussed.
Exactly.
And doing these two shows, it's like, I'm doing, it's live theater, and I'm doing live theater, but you know what? Those are 100 people who had a discussion. We brought some issues to the table, about either differences in the races or differences in religion, and everybody is going to leave that night having experienced something live and having given their souls to something real. It's not sitting in a movie theater. It's a live moment in time that can never be taken back. And in this world of film and sort of dominating the entire, in the entire entertainment demographic, wow, I get to still go out there and, and I love doing film too, but there's something just crazy raw about doing theater and doing pieces that make people crazy, that make people want to stand up and shout at you, that make people want to throw stuff at you. It's what Shakespeare was all about. It's about like people getting the crowds raucous and throwing stuff at you and screaming at you, and and that's the kind of theater I dig.
And
it's really involved.
Right, and speaking of that, getting the crowd raucous and everything, how did Hollywood Dreams impact your career?
It was just kind of, Hollywood Dreams was just like the chance for me, to be in my first big film, and I was lucky enough to get cast as a lead in it, which a lot of people called, my career at that point like an overnight sensation, which was really funny because I had been out in LA for 5 years, and maybe for a while, since after college. And so it's just funny that there's so many misnomers about, oh, this person just made it because Henry Jeglum just cast her in a film. But little do they know, like, I had waited tables for 5 years and at about 30 different restaurants, and I had produced one of Henry's plays to prove to him I had found the funding, and I had so much drive, so much ambition, and I proved to him that I could handle his material first. He didn't just cast me in it, And you look at all of these people who say, oh, look at this actor, they just made it overnight. And there are no really, that I've seen, overnight successes. It's these actors who, even the girl in the room who, I think she won the Oscar this year, but she, everybody started out as like a child actor and works their butts off to make it and stay in the business, let alone, become a quote-unquote star or get their first opportunity in a larger picture that they get credit for. So it was kind of funny to me because Hollywood Dreams was about a girl from Iowa who comes out here to be an actress and gets this kind of overnight success, but that's in reality in Hollywood. That just doesn't happen. You have to keep working, and man, I haven't seen. I got to give it to actors, because when you give your life up for that or whatever passion that you have, which I'm sure you understand doing a show of your own, you just work. You don't think about it. You keep your eye on the prize. You keep the blinders on, and you just keep going forward every day. And you just have to show up for your job, because there isn't anybody, like, you're not punching in the clock. You're not checking in. You're not on somebody else's work schedule or pay scale. You know, you're just doing it because you're trying to make money for your 2 kids at home and your family, and you know, but you're in a town where there are 500 people competing for your job, if not 5,000, and so you're just working to just for the glory of it, for the love of it, and there are so many people that I just admire because art is, I think, such a noble profession.
So
Making
true.
goosebumps as I'm saying it, but it is really sacrificing your life, your entire life. It is, and there's a different beat that I think artists there's a different beat that artists march to than the rest of the world, and I admire that as well. And anybody around artists, you know, you and anybody else who is in the music business or the you know, are writers or poets or whatever, just taking that risk and showing your soul and willing to be judged for whatever that it is that you stand for or whatever work you put out there. That's noble, man. That is like
that's very true. That's very true, Tanna. And I can actually say, because I've been in 2 movies and I'm getting ready for my 3rd, and I can actually 100,000% agree with you. And you know, you have to be in this business and you have to give 100%. If you don't, you can't come in with 25 or 50 because you will get left behind. You are so right about that. Now,
every day, and there's no reason, as you know, like there's no reason really, unless you have your own drive, unless you want to get up unless you push yourself to get up every single morning and chase after something that you don't know exists or not, or you don't know if it's going to manifest itself or not, you know, some job that you think you might get possibly. Unless you push yourself, nobody's going to be there, like, you know, fanning you with a palm leaf and saying, "Oh, get up now, and it's time for your close-up." And, you know, you're just running around out there, like, running out of gas and just working, networking and trying to get, so you get it. I mean, that's true. That's great. That's great. What films are you what film are you coming out of?
Actually, it's 2 shorts that they're actually trying to convert over to television. It's called Sins of the Wicked and Sons of the Wicked. I'm getting ready for part 4. Yes. We're actually trying to work it out for television deals and everything. So be on the lookout for that, Tanna, because we're actually still trying to bring new talent on also. So be on the lookout for it. I play a detective named Steve in the show. So
that's so cool.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you. Now, also, Tanna, for the people that's just tuning in worldwide, can you give them a rundown again about that romantic mystery called Ovation that can be seen this fall? Can you tell them what it's actually about for the people just tuning in?
Yep, it's a show about the film industry and what happens. It's called Ovation. It's a feature film starring James Denton and a wonderful cast, including myself. And it was filmed backstage of as we were doing the play The Rainmaker by N. Richard Nash in Los Angeles. And it's just a really fun, delightful romp through the actors' lives backstage, and there's brilliant actors. Henry Jaglom never fails to cast, you know, brilliant people in his roles. I'm always amazed by the talent in his films, and that's coming out. And there is an Ovation.com website, and there's also you can check out the Rainbow Film Company, where I have there's all of Henry Jaglom's films available for sale, and you can also just, you know, go on demand or go on iTunes and buy his films as well. So that's coming out, and there's Ovation. There is Hollywood Dreams, Irene in Time that I've done with him. Oh my God, there's so many now. I'm totally blanking. Queen of the Lot. Queen of the Lot, and just a deja vu, a bevy of amazing films that he's done. So he's a really great, amazing, talented, independent filmmaker. who I was lucky enough to work with and be discovered by. So that's out there, and his work is outstanding, so check him out.
Yeah, make sure you check him out. And that also shows you that Tanna's not no one-hit wonder. She started naming stuff and forgot what it was. She done so much, and I don't blame her. I would have lost track also. Now, Tanna, also just for the people that's new to you, that's just getting introduced to you today, see, everybody thinks you're just an actress, But can you tell the people that's listening right now some of the projects that you are actually involved in outside of acting?
Sure. I run a nonprofit that I've kept going for the last 12 years. We send kids to camp. It's called Project Save Our Surf. You can check it out at projectsaveuroursurf.org. Basically, we send 5,000 kids, underprivileged kids, to camp every year, and we either send them to the beach. We have amazing camps. We send them to the beach or to the mountains, and so there's a lot of schools around here. Since I grew up where every weekend I just took off on my bike and went to wherever in Iowa, Lime Creek Nature Center, where every weekend was just about going outdoors and hanging out, in creek beds and experiencing nature. But there are kids in Anaheim that I found out that haven't even seen the ocean. There are kids,
wow.
Within 30 miles of here that schools can't afford a science program, or schools can't afford to have, let alone to have any outside activities where they can, outside field trips where they bus the kids, like the good old days when I was in school, where we, got the parents to sign a slip and we got to go to a field trip. So we bus kids out and we give them field trips, quote unquote, or sort of camps where we teach them about not only where they're living and the terrain that they're living in, but how to protect the environment, how to make healthy food choices for themselves. These are all 5th to 8th graders. How to conserve. We do really fun projects with their lunch bags. We teach them to upcycle trash and make just these kids are bright and from low income families, and they are the future of these kids are the future stewards of our planet. So they, to me, are the most important ones to be teaching how, what they got and how to treat it. So that's what kind of keeps me going in my heart and my soul, is sending the kids to camp. And again, it's at projectsaveuroursurf.org. I have and then we have this great group. We have this great group of teen surfers, pro surfers. I mean, this is just, it's cool for me because I came from some cornfields, so the whole surfing concept is still, I don't think I'll ever be bored of it, And
exactly.
so we have, so we can, we take autistic children, and we take different schools and like I said, low income Boys and Girls Club or the youth programs out to the ocean, give them a day with these teen surfers who they just love, and get them up and on a board and paddling out, get them empowered, get them teaching. I mean, their faces when they first get up on a wave for the first time is always just like the most, just always brings tears to my eyes. And then we teach them all these different aspects of conserving and and about the planet. So that's what the organization that I'm proud to have founded and keep running in a time when it's very difficult to find funding for such programs, but we're still going strong. So we haven't broke the bank yet, so that's okay. Yeah.
So if people want to donate, if people want to donate to this fund, can they actually go to the website to donate, or how do they
actually? You can go to projectsaveuroursurf.org, and then we also install water filters. And we have a lot of youth involved with that. And so anybody can go on the site, check out just information in general about the earth, the environment, water levels, water clarity, what programs we have, where we have water filters at. Kids can apply there to get a scholarship and go to El Salvador, to the Philippines, to South Africa, wherever we have water programs. And we have the most amazing kids from all over the country. So it's not just isolated, actually from all over the world. So it's not just isolated to California. So anybody wants to check it out, projectsaveoursurf.org. Doesn't matter if you're in North Carolina or you're in Minnesota or you're in California. You can go on there and be a part of raise money. And if you're 16, 17, 18, 19, or if you're 48 to 92, you can be a part of one of our trips to go and install water filters in a place where, like El Salvador, the Philippines, or where they don't have clean water, and it's pretty amazing stuff. It's pretty amazing stuff.
Guys, make sure you go check out the website. Donate where you can. Donate your time. Donate funds. It's all about saving, other people that's actually less fortunate, and places that actually needs help. So make sure you go support Tanna Frederick and everything that she's doing, from theatrical to movie to outside, actually trying to save other places and dealing with the water and everything, guys, and the kids, man. Make sure you go to our website, check it out, donate, help out. Please make sure you do that. And Tanna, I just want to congratulate you again for everything that you're doing. And you're, like I said, you're doing big things, and you're nowhere close to getting done. Now, for the people that still trying to learn about you, what is your ultimate goal as an actress?
Oh gosh, I just want to keep learning and not quit. I just want to stay in the ring and not get a TKO. So if I can do that for the rest of my life and not get worn out and just keep learning, keep staying on stage, keep becoming a better human being, keep sending kids to camp, keep learning everything there is to learn about being an actor and creating art that speaks to people and that changes people and works to teach people, or to teach myself ultimately. If I can just keep creating projects like that for the rest of my life, I'll be a happy person.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, for the $1 million question that everybody wants to hear about, what advice would you give any male or female that wants to actually become an actor or actress, or just want to get into the industry? What advice would you give them?
I'd say if you don't have to say I want to be an actor, you are one. If you want to be one, you already are. So start getting your hands on. Start putting acting into your life wherever you can. Start doing monologues. Start reading about in any way, shape, or form. I mean, art is all around you every single day, and you live, breathe, and can feel it. And you can just start taking in films. You can start taking in plays, playwrights, and you are doing it. A lot of people think that art is inaccessible to them just because they're in the Midwest, like I grew up in Iowa, or because they're not in New York, or they're not in California, or they're not in Canada, or wherever the filming is being done at the time. A lot of people think, oh, then it's not for me, or I'm not an actor because I'm not where where all the business is. But you are an actor, so take responsibility for it and start learning now. It doesn't matter if you're 6 or you're 66. You should just begin, because that's your life. Once you recognize it, take it and don't be ashamed of it, and run with it, because it's a noble profession.
Nice. Great answer. Everybody, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you take all of this information that you actually heard, use it. If you want to become an actor or actress, Tanna just opened the door for you to tell you how to actually get there. Make sure you use the information. Once again, make sure you check out the website. If you can find any of her movies or plays, make sure you watch it. I'm telling you, this lady is a theatrical masterpiece. So make sure you stay tuned. Follow. Oh, and Tanna, how can people find you on social media if they want to follow you?
Oh, Tanna Frederick, TannaFrederick.com is my website, TannaFrederick.com. You can Google me, I think, and Twitter is, I think, Tanna F. And then all that social media stuff will just stem out from there. I don't ever remember all the websites, but that's a good start. And so, somewhere in there, you can get going.
Thank you, Tanna. Thank you for coming on the show today. I would love to have you back in the future. Thank you. I would love to have you back in the future. All right. Well, guys, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you follow Tanna. Make sure you find her work, watch it, study it, be part of it. Once again, donate your time. Donate if you have any funds to help out. Help. Do it, please. So, guys, you all heard it here first on the Big Scoop with Coop. Until next time, everybody, have a good night.